Hello everyone, I Padmini Sharma welcome you all to the SWAYAM online course on basic principle of energy management and energy audit. In all the previous lectures, you all have got the information about current energy scenario, then energy management and its audit, as well as monitoring and planning of energy. Now coming to the today's lecture, in this we are going to learn about energy and environment issue. Our discussion will cover major environment issue in detail such as acid rain effect, ozone layer depletion effect in our environment and global warming reason. Start with energy and environment. So, what is the energy? Energy environment refer to the capacity to do work, and it is a fundamental requirement for the functioning of our modern society. It come in different form and can be converted from one form to another. Next, what is the environment? The environment is everything that is present in our surrounding, the place, things and everything around us. The relationship between energy and the environment are deeply intertwined. The production and consumption of energy have direct effect on the environment. Energy and environment analysis examine the implication of existing and proposed energy policy on the environment. Traditional energy sources like fossil fuels are major contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, air pollution and climate change, that leading to the negative impact on human health and the environment. Industrial combustion of hydrocarbon based fuel produce various byproducts, several of which are classified as air pollutant. So, next we start with the global warming issue. Environment issue are any such issue created due to human activities and cause harm to the environment. One of the most important characteristic of global environment issue is that it can affect all mankind on a global scale without regard to any particular country or region. These environment concerns hold worldwide importance and require collaborative action on international level. Every corner of the globe is participating, giving rise to discussion about the role and responsibility each entity should undertake to mitigate this ecological issue. Some of the key environment issues of global significance are acid rain, ozone layer depletion, global warming and climate change. Let us discuss each issue one by one. Start with acid rain. Acid rain is a form of environmental pollution that occurs when acidic particles and gases are deposited from the atmosphere to Earth's surface in the form of rain, snow, fog or dry dust. It is identified as one of the serious environmental problem of transboundary nature. It is primarily caused by the emission of sulfur dioxide SO2 and nitrogen oxide NO2 into the atmosphere, which react with the water, oxygen and other chemical to form sulfuric acid H2SO4 and nitric acid HNO3. These acids are responsible for the acidity of acid rain. Human activity are the main source of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide emission. Let us discuss the source of SO2 and NO2. Start with the source of SO2. First, burning of fossil fuel. The combustion of fossil fuel such as coal, oil and natural gases in the power plants, industrial facilities and residential heating system is a major source of sulfur dioxide emission. Fossil fuel contain steel and copper can release sulfur dioxide. Additionally, process in the paper industry as well as the manufacturing of chemicals like sulfuric acid can also emit sulfur dioxide SO2. Next, volcanic activity. Volcanic eruption are a natural process of sulfur dioxide emission. During volcanic eruption, sulfur dioxide is released from the earth crust and enter to the atmosphere. Next, source of NO2, combustion of fossil fuel. Similar to the sulfur dioxide, the combustion of fossil fuel in vehicle, power plants and industrial process is a major source of nitrogen oxide emission. Higher temperatures and pressure in combustion engine can lead to the formation of nitrogen oxides from atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen. Next, transportation. Automobile, trucks, bus and other vehicles emit significant amount of nitrogen oxides as a result of burning gasoline or diesel fuel. The use of nitrogen based component in vehicle emission control system can also lead to the formation of nitrogen oxide. Industrial process. Certain industrial activity such as production of cement, petrochemicals and chemical can release nitrogen oxide into the atmosphere. Next, agriculture activities. The use of synthetic fertilizer, particularly those containing ammonia based component, can release nitrogen oxides into the air through the process like voltization. Next, type of acid rain. It is classified as a wet decomposition and dry decomposition. Start with wet decomposition. Wet decomposition refer to the acidic precipitate that fall directly from the atmosphere to the ground, typically in the form of rain, snow and hail. It occurs when sulfur dioxide SO2 and nitrogen oxide NO2, which are emitted from the sources like industrial process and vehicle emission, react with atmospheric moisture to form sulfuric acid H2SO4 and nitric acid HNO3. These acids then mix with rainwater to other form of precipitation and fall to the earth's surface. Wet acid rain can have harmful effect on soil, water bodies, vegetation and infrastructure. Next is the dry decomposition. Dry decomposition refer to the collection of polluting gases and particles which stick to the ground through smoke and dust. It fall on the building, statue and various monuments, in turn damaging the material of these infrastructures. These acidic component of rain corrode the metal and therefore lead to quite quick deterioration of the stone and the paint of this infrastructure. This lead to a high cost of maintenance, repairing and replacement. Next, what is the effect of acid rain? Start with the effect of acid rain on aquatic life and animal. Acid rain can lower the pH of water bodies, making them more acidic. This can negatively affect aquatic organisms that are sensitive to changes in pH. Many aquatic species such as fish, insect, amphibian have specific pH ranges within which they can thrive. Acidification can disturb their reproductivity, cycle, growth and overall health. Effect of acid rain on material. Both acid rain and dry decomposition of acidic particle play significant roles in corrosion and degradation of various material including metal, paint and stone. Metals, particularly those like bronze, are weak to corrosion when exposed to acid rain and acid particles. The acid in the rain and particle react with the metal surface leading to the breakdown of the metal and formation of rust or other corrosion products. This corrosion weakens the structural integrity of building, bridges and vehicle, reducing their lifespan and require costly repairs. Next, effect of acid rain on soil. Acid rain contribute to soil acidification by lowering the pH of the soil. This can affect the chemical and physical properties of the soil, making it more acidic. Acid rain can lead to leaching of essential nutrient from the soil. Leaching means washing away, including calcium, magnesium and potassium. These nutrients are important for plant growth and their loss can negatively impact the health and productivity of vegetation. Acidic condition caused by acid rain can increase the solubility of aluminum in the soil. Excess aluminum can be toxic to plants, affecting their root development. Next, effect of acid rain on human being. The direct effect of acid rain on human being are relatively limited compared to its impact on the environment. However, some indirect effects can occur, particularly through the contamination of air, water and food sources. So, mitigation acid rain involve reducing emission of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides through cleaner technologies, renewable energy adoption and international agreement aim to decrease pollution. While effects have helped improve some of the worst impact, but ongoing vigilance is necessary to address the long term effect of acid rain. Next, we discuss our second issue is the ozone layer depletion. Start with the ozone layer. The ozone layer is a crucial component of Earth's atmosphere located in the stratosphere approximately 10 to 50 kilometers or 6 to 31 miles above the Earth's surface. The primary role of ozone layer is to absorb and filter out a significant portion of the sun's harmful ultraviolet UVB and ultraviolet C UVC radiation, which can be harmful to the life on Earth. Next, we discuss about the chemistry of ozone layer formation, how the ozone layer is formed. Ozone, which is highly unstable, is produced and destroyed naturally in the stratosphere. This process regulates a balance of ozone and form the ozone layer. From the diagram, it is clear that when high energy ultraviolet rays strike on oxygen molecule O2, they split the molecule into two single oxygen atom. A free oxygen atom then combine with another oxygen molecule to form a molecule of ozone O3. Because there is so much oxygen in our atmosphere, this ozone oxygen cycle is continuously absorbing high energy ultraviolet radiation and completely blocking it to reaching the Earth's surface. This process creates heat which warm the upper part of stratosphere. Next, about the ozone depletion process. The seasonal thinning of ozone layer, particularly over the south pole, is known as the ozone layer depletion or the ozone hole. This phenomena was first discovered in 1980s and has a significant environment concern. The main chemical responsible for the problem is identified as chlorofluorocarbon CFCs, which were used in refrigerator, air conditioners and fire extinguishers. The concentration of ozone in the stratosphere is reduced, leading to the formation of ozone hole. particularly over the Antarctic region during certain times of the year. It is estimated that one chlorine atom can destroy from 10,000 to 1 lakh ozone molecule before it finally removed from the stratosphere. Next, what is the chemistry of ozone depletion process? The chemistry of ozone depletion is mainly driven by the presence of human made chemicals. Chlorofluorocarbon are molecules made up the chlorine, fluorine and carbon. Because they are extremely stable molecules, CFC do not react the other chemical in the lower atmosphere, but exposed to the ultraviolet radiation in the stratosphere break them apart, releasing the chlorine atom. This chlorine atom is highly reactive and can attack ozone molecules. This reaction result in the formation of chlorine monoxide and ordinary oxygen O2 molecules. If each chlorine atom released from CFC molecule destroy only one ozone molecule, CFC would pose very little threat to the ozone layer. But when a chlorine monoxide molecule encounters a free atom of oxygen, the oxygen atom break up the chlorine monoxide, stealing the oxygen atom and releasing the chlorine atom back to the stratosphere to destroy another ozone molecule. Next, what is the effect of ozone layer depletion? We start with the what happened with the human and animal health. Higher level of UV radiation reaching the earth surface can lead to an increase in skin cancer. Additionally, UV radiation can cause eye damage including cataract and other vision damage. Effect of ozone layer depletion of transition plant. Increased UV radiation can damage chlorophyll and other photosynthetic pigments, leading to reduced photosynthesis. This negative affect the plant's ability to produce energy through the conversion of sunlight into the chemical energy. UV radiation can cause direct damage to plant DNA, leading to genetic mutation. This can result in decreased plant growth, reduced reproductivity, success and increased chance to disease. Next, effect of aquatic ecosystem. The ozone layer play a crucial role in protecting aquatic ecosystem. It absorbs the majority of sun's harmful UV radiation. It has the potential to harm the initial growth phase of aquatic creature such as fish, crab and amphibian. These negative impact could result in reduced reproductivity capability and hindered development of larvae, making some of the most significant determinants. Next, effect of air quality. Reduction of stratosphere ozone and increased penetration of UVB radiation can result in higher dissociation rates of gas that control the chemical reactivity of the tropospheres. This can increase both production and destruction of ozone and related oxidants such as hydrogen peroxide, which are known to have adverse effect on human health, terrestrial plant and outdoor materials. To address these issues, the international community has taken significant steps to curb the production and consumption of ozone depletion substance, but continued vigilance, international cooperation and commitment to ozone friendly practice are necessary to ensure the long term production and recovery of the ozone layer. Next, consider ozone depletion countermeasure. To counter ozone depletion, various international agreements and initiatives have been put in the place to reduce and eliminate the production and consumption of ozone depletion substance. The most significant of these is the Montreal Protocol on substance that reduce the ozone layer, which was adopted in 1974. It is worth noting that the Montreal Protocol has been quite successful in reducing the production and consumption of ozone depletion substance and the ozone layer showing the sign of recovery. Here are some key countermeasures and strategies regarding the ozone layer depletion. First, phasing out ozone depletion substance. The Montreal Protocol set out a schedule for gradual phase out of production and consumption of ozone depletion substance. This involves reducing the production of these substances over time and eventually completely eliminating their use. Second one, the alternative technologies. As alternative to ozone depletion substance, hydrofluorocarbon HFCs and hydrofluorocarbon were introduced. However, some hydrofluorocarbon and hydrofluorocarbon are also potent greenhouse gases contributing to climate change. Therefore, efforts have shifted toward identify and adopting more eventually friendly alternative. Next, promotion of renewable energy sources. Reducing energy consumption and shifting to renewable energy sources can indirectly help mitigate ozone depletion. The generation of energy from fossil fuels can contribute to the emission of ozone depletion substance. Fourth is the public awareness and education. Rising public awareness about the importance of ozone layer and the consequence of its depletion can encourage individuals and communities to take action that contribute to its protection. These countermeasures have led to significant improvement in the condition of the ozone layer, and the hole in the ozone layer over Antarctic has shown sign of recovery. However, full recovery of ozone layer is gradual process that requires sustained effort and international cooperation. Next, his third issue is the global warming and climate change. Global warming and climate change are closely related but distinct phenomena that refer to the long-term change in earth temperature and the broader shifts plants climate pattern. Global warming specifically refer to the increase in earth average surface temperature due to accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The effect of global warming include rising sea level, melting glacier and ice caps, more frequent and intense heat waves and shifted in weather patterns. Climate change encompasses a broader range of change beyond just temperature. It refers to shift in long-term pattern of temperature, snow, wind patterns and other atmospheric conditions on a global or regional scale. Climate change is driven by various factors including natural processes such as volcanic activity and variation in solar radiation, as well as human activity that contribute to the increased concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. These changes can lead to alteration in ecosystem, sea level and distribution of plant and animal species. The impact of climate change can be both direct, for example, change in the temperature and precipitation, and indirect, for example, shift in ecosystem affecting food availability. From the graph, it is clear that emission of carbon dioxide and temperature both are rising continuously year by year. Now, we will go into focusing our discussion about main reason of global warming and climate change, that is the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is the natural process that play a important role in regulating the earth's temperature. the earth surrounded by layer of gases including greenhouse gases. These particular gases have the unique property of absorbing the thermal radiation emitted by the earth surface. As a result, they create a sort of blanketing effect over the surface, keeping it warmer. This leads to the accumulation of energy in the atmosphere, causing an overall warming effect, allowing the earth to maintain a livable temperature. Naturally occurring greenhouse gas play a crucial role in this process. Without them, the earth average surface temperature would be chilly -18 degrees Celsius, far less suitable for sustaining the life than the current tolerance 15 degrees Celsius. This natural process known as the greenhouse effect and is crucial for sustaining life on earth, as it is help regulate our planet climate and provide the necessary condition for life to thrive. Next, enhanced greenhouse effect. Over the past 200 years and particularly in the last 50 years, the natural greenhouse effect has been intensified due to the rising level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, mainly carbon dioxide from the burning of fossil fuel such as coal, oil, gases. Additionally, extensive deforestation has further contributed to this increase in greenhouse gases. On the other hand, human activities have a direct impact on the level of significant greenhouse gases, namely carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbon and ozone. These human influenced greenhouse gases contribute to the enhancement of greenhouse effect. There is a substantial body of evidence indicating that human activities are causing an intensified greenhouse effect, leading to the significant change in the earth climate on a global scale. It is estimated that the earth average temperature has risen by 0.75 degrees Celsius since 1880 because of the emission of greenhouse gases from human activity. Next, we discussed about the main factor responsible for greenhouse gas, enhanced greenhouse effect. First, fossil fuel burning. The burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil and natural gas for energy production, transportation and industrial process release substantial amount of CO2 into the atmosphere. This is most significant contributor to enhanced greenhouse effect. Second one is the deforestation. Clearing forest for agriculture, logging and urban development reduce the earth capacity to absorb CO2, as a tree play a crucial role in carbon absorption. Third one is the industrial process. Various industrial activities release greenhouse gases like hydrochlorofluorocarbon, sulfur hexafluoride SF6, which are far more powerful than CO2 in terms of their heat trapping ability. Fourth one is the agriculture. In addition to methane emissions, agriculture contributes to the enhanced greenhouse effect through the use of synthetic fertilizer, which release nitrous oxide and N2O, another strong greenhouse gases. These factors collectively contribute to an imbalance in the natural greenhouse effect, resulting in the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and the subsequently warming of the planet. Next, we discuss what are the different greenhouse gases. Start with the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is considered the most significant greenhouse gas due to its high abundance in the atmosphere. It accounts for the approximately 60% of enhanced greenhouse effect. Man-made carbon dioxide emission primarily originate from the fossil fuel combustion, which include coal, petroleum and natural gases. Next one is the methane. In nature, the main source of methane is wetland, and it is also produced during the anaerobic decomposition of organic matter such as food and vegetation in the absence of oxygen. Geological coal formation and the decomposition of organic matter also contribute to methane production. Next is the nitrous oxide N2O. Emission in the atmosphere are primarily linked to human activities such as the use of nitrogen fertilizer, manure application, biomass combustion, fossil fuel combustion in power plant. Next is the ozone. Ozone at ground level act as a greenhouse gas capable of absorbing infrared radiation and contributing to global warming. They are so chemically unreactive, and once released into the atmosphere, they are remain for a long time to about 100 to 200 years before being destroyed. Next is the chlorofluorocarbon. The CFC are man-made chemical which vaporize just below room temperature and are non-toxic and non-flammable. CFC contains chlorine atoms. So, this is all about the today class. We have started our discussion from the relationship between energy and environment. Then one by one we focused on the environmental issue, which include acid rain formation, ozone layer depletion and global warming reason. Under the topic of acid rain, we have discussed about the cause of acid rain, its type and its effect on the environment and human being. Next, under the topic of ozone layer, we covered ozone layer formation, then chemistry of ozone layer formation, then depletion of ozone layer, which covered chemistry of ozone layer depletion and its effect to the environment. Next, we focused our discussion about the reason of global warming, which covered effect of enhanced greenhouse effect, and we discussed in detail different greenhouse gases which is responsible for enhanced greenhouse effect. In next lecture, we will discuss the topic effect of global warming in climate change. Thank you all for your patience.